One. I think we're live on Facebook, live on YouTube. And we're about to go live. Yeah, we're about to go live. Y'all give me a minute. Let me get set up. I'm trying to turn this water around so I don't even have to advertise it. All right, let's get started. Yes, sincerely thanking everybody for tuning in. This is Jamil Salib Zamir out of Manning, South Carolina. Thanking everyone for tuning in. First thing I want to do is say a short prayer. Y'all know how I pray. I want to thank Almighty God for all that he's done for us. I pray that he watch over the people that are going through mental and physical turmoil right now. I sincerely pray for the protection of those in Texas who were not prepared for this storm. And I'm angry with the people of Texas for not preparing for the storm because you never know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen. But I do pray for God's mercy for those who are in turmoil right now. They are literally actually freezing to death in places, unable to start a yard fire or unable to heat their homes. So I pray for them. I pray for everyone that's going through death due to this COVID upper respiratory issue that is happening with mostly our elderly. I pray for the young who are left behind, and I pray for your recklessness because your elderly parents, your older parents can't sustain upper respiratory strength like you can, because you can contract this, what they call COVID, and you can walk around and exercise, and you can open your lungs up to where you're able and maybe make it through the upper respiratory issue. But you bring these viruses home, you want to party, you want to go out, you want to do all of these things like normal, and then home to your parents, your grandparents, and they're dying. And you are so hurt and so tore up inside that they died, but I need us to become more responsible. And you are so hurt and so tore up inside that they died, but I need us to become more responsible and maybe just give up those things that may cause harm to our elderly parents, or maybe just stay from around them. Give them a phone call, but stay from around them. You don't want to wear a mask. You don't believe that the thing is real. Whatever. It's an upper respiratory problem. It's an issue. So I pray for them. I pray for the rising of intelligence in our young, black, white, red, brown, and yellow. I pray that the older ones take more responsibility. I'm not talking about spreading gossip over. Some of you got hundreds and thousands of followers, and all you do is gossip all day, every day. This is what I heard about the Crips and the zip over. Some of you got hundreds and thousands of followers, and all you do is gossip all day, every day. This is what I heard about the Crips and the Bloods and the Bloods and the Crips. This is what I heard about the politicians. But you're not giving people a blueprint to survive. Oh, get into the stock market. People don't know how to get into a stock market. They can barely get into a decent home. And as I said before, we have a subject today. Just be patient. I'm still praying. This is how I pray. I pray with intentional words. I don't pray with bless them and give them mercy. I pray with intent. And I get angry. I get emotional. Let people grow. Stop holding people back. So with our young, have some respect for the elderly. Not only are you coming in the home with all these germs on your body and they can barely breathe, but you're actually smoking marijuana and all these other things in the home. And I know I have issues. My lungs close up when marijuana smoke is around. And I'm 51 years old. Losing their rental properties, the homes that they're renting, subsidy money to help people who are behind on their rent. I posted that up about a week ago, that you go online if you're renting and you fill out the information and you try to get some of this money. So for the young who have people in their family, your mother, your fathers who don't understand internet, go help them try to get this money. Because I promise you, all of the money is going to go to these corporations who are renting or leasing their properties, and they know how to fill out the paperwork, and you're still going to be homeless. So I'm praying for people to get more in tune with technology, more in tune with the urgency of the time. So I want us to get into that and start to understand how to help each other. This is pray for the situations that could be in our control, but that are out of our control. Now I want to get into the subject matter. I got a child, and he has underlying issues trusting women because his mother is still alive, and he cares for his mother, but he wants to talk to her about what she did, but he doesn't want to disrupt the relationship that they have. So after he called and was talking, and I'm trying to reason with him what he should do, how he should do it, in my humble opinion, he asked, could he come and talk to me face to face? I said, fine. Gets to the house and he starts to telling me about his mother. She used to be with a lot of different men. She used to sleep with married men. She used to come home drunk and molest me. She brought men home, different men home. And I sat back for a moment and I said, what exactly are you saying about your mother? Well, she just wasn't right. Another child would be on the farm with mama. So mama would down, junkie, mama drinking hooch, mama drinking potato wine, her mama smoking a pipe. Story about my mama. My mama got a married man. It is bad. But what mama has done, and she whore, did she? No. What woman would be happy giving herself to a man for a few measly dollars? The most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches that wherever there's a no good woman, there's a no good man that made her that way. So I told the brother, I'm going to come on and I'm going to try to make this plain, because I saw a young brother today. I am not going to say names, but came over to his mother's house and he set up the grill, him and his girlfriend, and they cooked out. And I'm looking out the door like, man. So I opened the door and I yelled. He came over and I gave him a pound and I hugged him and I said, man, it makes me feel great to see what you're doing for your mother. And he said, I got to do it, brother. Only mother I got. Exactly. So I want us to get in the mindset. But I remember every time mama came out of that room home, she wasn't happy, but she had a couple of dollars. Go get some cereal. Go get some grits. Go get something from the store. And she's still leaning up under the man on the chair while he looking at TV at our house. I said, brother, I'm not making an excuse for any mother that abused their child, that mentally neglected their child, but I've been through that. But I just want you to see it from a perspective where the things that have been done can't be retracted. And if you're talking to an older parent, they are not going to admit to anything. But if you can open your mind, heart, and spirit clear enough to see what may have been at that time period, you may understand the situation better. Now, most of our children who are in the street, there was a time when your mother would be partying in the clubs with your friends, everybody in the same club. Here you got 50-year-old mama in the club, 20-year-old boys. She got on a mini skirt. She ain't got no bra on, nipples out. She's very pretty. Next thing you know, one of your friends having sex with your mama. You see your friends touching your mama's behind, her breast, and And you don't understand why your mama letting that be so, and you are so embarrassed. But here you got a woman. She broken inside. Her soul, her spirit, they broken. She gave her heart to a man. He treated her like garbage. She give her heart to another man. He treat her like garbage. She's feeling unattractive, unwanted, undeserving. These are no excuses. I want you to look at the other side of things. That's called being empathetic. She's feeling unattractive. No man in her age bracket that is attracted to her. So she dresses up as young as she can look. And she goes out to that club. And all of the young boys are showing her attention. Here's a broken woman now. She's broken. Don't matter if they touch on her. She feels attractive. She feels alive. She at the bar, she drinking, they buying the drinks. She walks out of the club with them, they're going to slide her some money. Young boys who want to rub and touch up on her and make her feel alive. I'm talking from a woman's point of view because I raised my boys and I had to be mama and daddy. And during that period, I had to give up my friends, my partying, everything. I was just at home all the time and I felt miserable. But the thought in my mind was, if I can make it through this period and raise these boys and they can grow up to be something of value to themselves and society, it'll all be worth it. That's where mama's mind is in most cases, not all mothers, but most. Most of the ones that you all call whores and no good and they're adulterers and they cheat and they took my man and took my husband and you filthy or nasty because you contracted AIDS. It don't even mean you filthy or nasty, people. If you get addicted to Mary Magdalene, all of these men are accusing her of being a loose woman. Do you know why they were accusing her of that? Because all of them were sleeping with her. And all of them wanted her for themselves. So now let's just gang up on her and kill. We have to learn to mature in our thinking. And we have to try our best to put ourselves in the shoes of our parents. Women who may have gotten addicted to sex, who may have gotten addicted to attention, who definitely got addicted to crack, man, but you can't beat crack cocaine. That stuff was developed in a laboratory specifically for black men and black women, specifically. Cocaine was for white people. Crack cocaine was manufactured to reach the pleasure center of the brain of black men and women. It destroyed Detroit. It destroyed Chicago. It destroyed South Carolina. It destroys any place it touches, and it turns moral people into immoral people who will do anything to chase a high that they never will get again. Do you understand me? I'm talking to him. We talked for almost 2 hours, and I'm saying, if you are able, I want you to look at life from her eyes. Do you love your mother? I feel something for her. Did she bring you into the world? Did she carry you in a womb? You gotta have love and respect for that, because if you don't love your mother, you don't love God. Islam, as taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and Islam, period, teaches that heaven lies at the foot of your mother. At the foot of your mother. Now, society, the government, specifically designed a system to destroy your mother. What did they do? They took the father out of the house, number one. Even if he wanted to be there, he couldn't be there. They sent in social workers to check your house, and you couldn't have nothing. You couldn't have a man. A man couldn't be in the house. Y'all don't know about this stuff because you don't study nothing. So mama had to sneak around and get her some sexual satisfaction. Sometimes it be so good that they throw caution into work You staying in trouble. She's stressed out. So she looks for pleasure anywhere she can get it. You keep bringing your friends around. They got a wad of money. She need money. She can get pleasure and money. My wife, my ex-wife, she was out there. But I learned to get over that. Why? Because I don't know where I dropped the ball. As a child, you don't know where you dropped the ball. I don't make no apologies for this conversation because it's necessary. Because you all look at life like it's everybody else's fault. So that's why you love gossip so much. Oh, their life is terrible. They're just horrible. You don't want to take responsibility to think or act or do anything other than what you feel. What mother do you know was taught motherhood from their mother? None of them. Very few. Only thing they were taught, keep your legs closed and go to school. And even the educated mothers are miserable. I read an article today where this beautiful woman, she was married. She was a special education's professor. She was just hired as a principal at a high school, and she was teaching troubled youth. One of them was in prison. She's 50-something years old. He's 17. She destroyed her relationship with her husband, her job, and all to have to sex with this 17-year-old boy in prison. Telling him now she's in prison. Why would she go to that extent? For attention, to feel alive. People want to feel alive. In my time, I've been with people. Most of the women that I've been with, and I'm very selective, really, either they got so much love in them that they can't give to the right person, or they're lacking in love, so they're willing to give it all to you. You understand me? So they're 50, 60-year-old mothers, some of them filled with disease, some of them recovering addicts, but they're in the church now. And they're sincerely in the church. Because a lot of what they did, most of what they did, yes, they enjoyed themselves. Yes, they had a good time, but they did most of what they did for their family to survive. You ever heard your mama getting her behind cut from a man, and the next thing you know, she in the room with him having sex with him? You think she having a good time? She's being raped, literally abused and raped. But she don't have no place to carry you and your brothers and your sisters, so she got to sacrifice and put up with all of that. And the scripture says, were it not for God, Satan would fool the very elect of God if he didn't shorten Satan's days on the earth. And all of us are being deceived. Because the biggest thing you can do is disrupt the family unit. And the biggest disruption of the family unit is judgmental parents and judgmental children. The parents doing dirt, the children doing dirt, but both of them pointing fingers at each other. Everybody doing dirt. Because we're in a dirty world. And we're in the book of Revelation that says, come out of her, for she has become a habitation of devils. But it feels so good, we don't want to leave. So now you see your mama with another woman, and you just think she's an abomination, or you just accept it and don't try to judge it. But you angry with your mama. She the worst thing you could, she just the worst. But really, she's not. She's not the worst. Because loneliness, y'all don't know loneliness because you get high all the time and you listen to music all the time. You listen to noise and you're always around people. But our generation, we suffered a lot from loneliness. I'm 51 years old. I don't have good conversations with people because they're not on my level. Even if their degree is higher than mine, they're still not on my level. So talking to them it doesn't satisfy my urge for conversation. So mama meets a woman that she says, life is hard. I know what you mean. Life is tough for me too. I got all these children. I got children too. And sometimes, and here they say this part together, sometimes I just want to get away from it all. Next thing you know, and it feels good. And they do it again and again. And a woman can go down on mama and please her with her tongue, and mama can just be free because she ain't got to worry about no man putting no sperm in her vagina and getting her pregnant because she already got 12 children. And you say, mama, just but she trying to get some relief. So I'm talking to this guy. We talking. And I'm saying, out of everything I've seen, I haven't seen that whore, that person you're talking about yet. But she molests me. That's horrible. I was molested too. But it's one thing that I know about the girl that was molesting me. She had to have been molested. She didn't hurt me or my brother. Just everything somebody did on her, she did on us. And I'm going to talk about that in another commentary. But she was older and she had these huge breasts. So I couldn't filter out age and I couldn't filter out breasts. So I didn't care if you've been my mama, my aunt, my cousin, my sister. If you were older and you had big breasts, you understand? So we get caught up in situations, but you got to know the backstory of it. So if I'm excited about my cousins and then that means I would be willing to commit incest to satisfy my urges. So, mama lonely, mama drunk. My sister used to wash us. She used to give us baths in a basin. And you know, when you washing somebody, a little pinky be sticking off. Now, she ain't never did nothing out of the ordinary. She just washes off. But what if you get an urge and it's happened more than can be accounted for? And you end up in an incestuous relationship with your son, with your daughter. Because you done blurred, the lines have been blurred so far because somebody raped you, somebody molested you, or a family member, or uncle, or a cousin had sex with you, but it didn't feel bad. It felt good. So now you thinking, I'll reciprocate that feeling to my son, my daughter. Sick, yes. Impossible, no. Destroy the mind, yes. Destroy family, yes. Can it be repaired? Yes. It can. I know you didn't expect this, but I came harsh at the fella because I wanted him to listen to his own self. Your mama grew up miserable, sacrificed her whole life miserable. I'm talking about on a certain level now, our level. There are worlds in our world. Many of the people across town were molested by their mothers where I lived. They ain't know I know, but I knew. Mama made them have sex with her. Her sex drive is so high because she's been put in a position where sex was the answer for everything. She just see a penis and that's it. And thinking, I love this child and I can have sex with him. Mess you up, yes. And later on in life, when they realize what they've done, it's the most difficult thing to talk about. It's not a subject you can just go into. Pray on it sincerely. Say in words what you desire when you talk. I let my hair out today so y'all could see the gray in my beard, so y'all could understand that by God's permission, wisdom is talking. All of this that I talked about is painful to watch. It's psychological warfare. But understand that we were placed in a position of pain and hurt that caused us to reciprocate pain and hurt. Do you understand what I'm saying in closing? Some of you mothers, everybody know your mama. Your mama been all around manning. Young people done had her, old people done had her. Some of you, your mother done spread disease. Everybody mad with her. Your mother done killed people. She had AIDS. She had HIV. Your mother done committed incest. Your mama screw everything. But that's still your mama. Don't let nobody talk bad about your mother. I make that very clear to my children. To my youngest, he just is very disrespectful to his mother, but I tell him, well, you got to change that. Never mind what she and I been through. That's grown-up business. You will get there. Somebody gonna drive you insane too, but that's your mother. And one of my sons, he takes care of his mother. He puts in a home. He keeps her straight. If he got it, she got it. That's the way it should be. So I ask him, you got any more questions for me? You got any comments, anything you want to say? I'm still angry at my mother, but I see things clearer, he says. Good, I say. Now let's pray together that God will give us clarity in this situation, because without the respect of they who don't know how to be a mama, they still young. They haven't been taught. All they know is they want to be the opposite of what their mama was. Do you understand me? And they end up being exactly what their mother was. We're going to talk about men the next time, but we're talking about mothers this time. Pain in my heart just by not acknowledging the fact that I was trying my best to be a good son without a blueprint. But my mother also never let us go into the system. Even though she had very little, she never let four children go into the system. Never. She fought for us to the day she died. And on her deathbed, that was the only time I got to hold her hand. And she said, what are y'all going to do when I'm gone? See, her mama, she's sacrificing the very best of herself for her children. So for you all, may have been incest, may have been what you call rape. It may have been a bunch of men in the house. Mama slept with your friends. Man, that happened. Drugs in the community, loneliness, lack of attention. It happened. A child so enamored by a woman who wants to give herself to him, whether he your friend or not, he ain't gonna turn that down, man. He can't. It's almost impossible. But remember, most of the time, mama would get drugs, and then she'd take half of that money and put it into the house. Don't give up on your mama. Rather she's dead or alive. Ask God for forgiveness and ask for empathetic another time. And most of your mothers, though they are 70 years old, 60 years old, they're still children in the mind because nobody taught them how to grow up. They still looking for love because nobody taught them how to grow up. Some of them think if they're not being beaten by a man, he don't love them. Because the woman who took advantage of me and my brother took off her exit and not do the same to your child. But if you look close at yourself, most of you women, you stay out partying. You stay out looking like our homes, our families, and our community. You don't want to take on that challenge. It's too hard for you. You're not a man yet. You think manhood is murder. You think manhood is screwing a lot of women. You think manhood is having babies, but not being in their lives. You think manhood is getting married, but then going back to doing what you were doing before you were married. Everything changes when you say you're a man. And when you find out what your problems are, you're so old and dilapidated, and your girl and your wife is still young, and you falling apart, and you can't please her sexually, and you trying to make sure she stay in the house, but she's out trying to get pleasure, and you mad because you run yourself out, you burned yourself out. Now this young woman, 50, 60 years old, got to take care of your old behind. Thank y'all for tuning in. Jamil Salibs, Amir Manning, South Carolina. Tomorrow, myself, Del Castro Powell on the Truth Show. We be coming on like it is. We got a real heavy topic for you at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow, if everything, yes, and things like that. So that's where we headed. We got to get some more equipment, and we need your help. So thank you for tuning in. To all of those who criticize, get a life. Get a life, because you're not doing nothing but trying to bring people down, and I'm not going to respond to none of your foolishness. You're sick. You're mentally sick, you're miserable, you don't have a life, and you never will have a life. You want to be in control of everything, you want to control everybody, and you're miserable, and you'll die miserable. That's just your life. So I pray you keep on dying miserable. Okay? Thumbs up. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Jamil Salibs Amir. Let me see if I can get my outro going. And we are gone. And not like it was, tell me like it is. And not like it was.